Welcome to Women's Rugby Rundown 177 for October 21st through the 27th. World Rugby has announced the match schedule for the expanded 2025 Rugby World Cup, setting the stage for the largest event yet with 16 teams. Ilona Maher made waves as the only rugby player ranked among the top 10 marketable athletes in 2024. Argentina defended their South American Sevens title in Lima, securing a World Rugby Challenger Series berth alongside Colombia. Major hosting news includes Ghana gearing up for Rugby Africa Sevens in November, and the Solomon Islands set to welcome teams for Oceania Rugby Sevens in December, each offering Challenger Series qualification. Meanwhile, Sevens will be notably absent from the 2026 Commonwealth Games. We cover all this and round up the global premier and club competitions worldwide. I'm Wendy, here to bring you the latest in women's rugby. This is your Women's Rugby Rundown, and we're about to kick off. Let's start with some Sevens news, and of course we have to start with the Queen of Sevens herself, Ilona Maher, absolutely crushing everything that she's doing. Dancing with the Stars, rumors that she's going to play in the PWR or the WER so she can play in the 2025 Rugby World Cup. And now, 8th most marketable athlete according to SportPro in 2024, standing him out as the only rugby player on the list and ranking among top 4 athletes alongside Simone Biles, Rebecca Andre, and Caitlin Clark. Argentina clinched their second consecutive title in Lima, taking South American Sevens and securing their World Rugby Challenger Series spot with a final win over Brazil, who is on the HSBC 7 Series as a core team. Colombia joined them after they edged Uruguay in the third-place match and will also be on the Challenger Series. Great Britain claimed victory at Elche Sevens with a 22-5 win over Spain in the final, while Czechia took third, Poland fourth, Belgium fifth, and Germany fell from second to sixth after they didn't win any games on day 2. Ghana will host the 2024 Rugby Africa Sevens on November 9th to the 10th, marking a historic first for West Africa as 12 teams compete for a coveted spot in the 2025 World Rugby Challenger Series. More World Rugby Sevens Challenger news. The Solomon Islands will host the 2024 Oceania Rugby Sevens on December 7th and 8th, where teams can make their mark for that Challenger Series. The 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow will feature a streamlined sports lineup, but really that means there's no rugby sevens, hockey, badminton, squash, and they're going to focus on core events like athletic swimming and boxing. Huge blow to sevens, which had sold out crowds last time. PR Sevens announced a unique all-star event November 17th in Providence Park in Portland, Oregon. They will have USA standouts from Paris, so Olympians and probably some of the newer athletes there taking on an all-star team from PR Sevens. Now switching over to 15's news, World Rugby has announced the match schedule for the 2025 Rugby World Cup. It's set to be the largest event yet with an expanded lineup of 16 teams, 4 more than the previous edition. European Conference team Finland defeated trophy team Latvia 63-0 in a cross-conference non-test international friendly. Ireland's Lynn Cantwell is returning home as head of women's strategy for the IRFU. She recently has been in South Africa doing wonderful work and will stay on as a consultant. This is not 15's news, so we're going to slide it in here because it makes sense. The Cape Town Wild Dogs clinched the 2024 Rugby 10 Series title with a combined $1 million in prizes awarded over the weekend. Next up is the championship on November 23rd, 27th, and 30th in California. Let's take a look at our premier and club news. WRR has named head coaches for the 6 inaugural franchises in the Bay Area, Boston, Chicago, Denver, Twin Cities, and New York, setting the stage for the U.S.'s first professional women's league in March 2025. We've updated our USA Club women's rugby standings. We've added D3 for the first time ever. We know some quarterfinalists in D2, and then in D1, we know some semifinalists as the Midwest are already starting on their postseason. Korstorfen remains unbeaten at the top of the Arnold Clark Premiership after 10 rounds, while Watsonian edged out Hillhead Jordan Hill, breaking the 32-point tie between 3 teams. Railway Union holds strong at the top of the Nigeria AIL with an undefeated record after 4 rounds, while the top 4 teams, UL Bohemian, Wicklow, and Galwegians, begin to pull away from the pack. Toulouse and Bordeaux lead the pack undefeated in Elite 1 after 3 rounds, but it is very tight in the standings. Saracens and Exeters remain undefeated after PWR round 4. Saracens staged a massive comeback over Gloucester Hart Prairie, and Exeter topped the Trailfinders while Harlequins edged Loughborough, and Bristol Bears dominated Sale. Ghent remains undefeated at the top of Belgium's Senior Ladies 1 after 5 rounds, with the 4th through 7th teams just absolutely locked in the horns to figure out who will emerge as the top 4. Spain's Iberdrola League kicked off with wins from Majadahonda, Sevilla, El Salvador, and AVRFCB, with El Salvador taking the lead as the only team to secure a bonus point victory on the weekend.
Hong Kong's Nanfeng Group Airside Premiership opened with a bonus point victories for Society General Valley and Natixis Ice, joined by a win from Gai Wu Falcons.
Italy's Series A Elite also kicked off this past weekend with bonus point wins from Valsugana, Colorno, Villarorbo, and Capitolina. Valsugana tops the table on point differential. That'll close out this week's news, everything that we were able to squeeze into the video. Of course, there's always more news on our site at yscrugby.com. And never miss an episode of Women's Rugby Rundown by subscribing on YouTube, Patreon, Spotify, and of course on all of your favorite social media channels.